Greetings, Patrick here. 8 questions with, and welcome to the show. Wow, it is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and we actually have rain today. We have been raining most of the day, and yeah, we really need it. So, very exciting to get rain. Um, well, tonight we're speaking with actress Allison Rothwell, and she'll be here in about 15 minutes. And it's gonna be a lot of fun talking to her. She's done actually her body of credits is pretty fun. She actually got to do a movie with Heather Graham, and so it'll be fun talking to her about her experience doing that film. And yeah, it's gonna be a good show tonight. That's if my head can stop itching. Of course, it can be really hard to focus 100% because there's gonna be like 2% of me over here peeking over at ESPN because the Yankees are playing, and so I'm I'm really I'm, I'm really hoping the Yankees can come back and take care of some business. Well, they need to, otherwise we're out. Let's see who's in here. It'll be Anthony will be the first one. Well, I'm gonna be hopeful for the Yankees win. Definitely want the Yankees to win. We'll cross our fingers. And you saw Smashing Machine. Yeah, I heard that was actually a pretty good movie. It's a real shame that no one is going out to see it. Um, I think I think really all that movie really was an art house movie, and it should have been treated as such. But they try to make it out like a big movie and a big, like $6 million is a failure. And it's like it's the movie's not really designed to. It's not a popular movie. It's not a Rocky. It's a biography. Um, and the ending was a little bit. Mark Carr's ending was a little rough. And the fact that The Rock did the story is takes I got to give a lot of credit to him. I really give him a lot of credit for stepping out of his comfort zone from doing basically you know fluff movies and actually sinking his teeth into a real dramatic role. And I'm excited for him. I wish he had done it sooner. Hey Jerry, how are you? How are you? Allison will be here in about 15 minutes. And so, yeah, I think the big news that I saw today, which is really interesting to me, the big news that I saw today is Elon Musk and Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson are going to try to open a new studio to do right-wing propaganda movies, white nationalist movies. Yeah, I can't think of three more deserving faces. Two anti-Semites and a man who almost killed another man and got out of going to jail for it. Um, and he did it because the man, and he did it as a racist attack. I like Mark Wahlberg's movies. Would I want to sit down and have lunch with him? Probably not. Same thing with Mel Gibson. Same thing with Elon Musk. But they're going to now be trying to force their idea of propaganda on us. They call it the no woke studio or whatever movies or whatever that means. Uh, Look, there's just no such thing. You cannot make. And I know a lot of people might think differently, but I'm just telling you how it is. Um, as far as how there's no such thing as a Christian movie. I mean, really, there isn't. Um, if you go by a strictly biblical word, there's no such thing as a Christian movie. I think, I mean, especially mainstream. Independent wise, I mean, the Kendrick brothers, when they first started out, uh, uh, Jefferson and Kelly Moore, um, they're still doing it on the independent level. The Kendricks got paid a lot of money, though I'm not really sure what they're doing. I know that Angel Studios is now up and running, and basically they're doing GoFundMe's on steroids. They're getting people to contribute to their movies. Like like horror movies. They set up the Indiegogos and they're going. They're trying to get like $5,000 for a movie, um, for a horror film. Well, Angel is doing that on a steroid basis. They are getting a lot of people to donate a lot of money into their projects. Um, I can understand that, but it's just the same thing as any other. It's like when and the thing is woke, right? I mean, think about this. Think of the irony of this statement. I don't want to watch woke to a right winger to our yeah, I'm saying it to our fascists on the right. Woke was mean because people wanted to see themselves on the big screen. People of color, they wanted to be represented on the big screen. Oh, that's so people were saying that every time there was like a minority on the screen, it was because people were doing because it's the woke. They were woke. Well, what are you doing if you're doing this with so-called Christian films? Are you not sitting there going like, well, we want to be represented too? Wow, it sounds sort of like you're a part of the woke crowd. Um, you want to see you want to see what you be represented on screen, your ideals and your values. You want to see them on the screen. That's all anybody else. That's all they ever wanted. They just wanted to be included. You'll take their money, but then you'll exclude them from the club. I mean, that's really what it boils down to a really, real small little package is like, yeah, they want to be represented. They want to be I mean, look what happens. Bad Bunny, an American, born in Puerto Rico, American citizen. They pick him to do the Super Bowl, and all the fascists are having a conniption. Why? Well, he's not American. He's well, fuck. Neither were the Rolling Stones, right? Rolling Stones. I mean, they were English. Um, how are we okay with that? How are we okay with that? Um, so that was the big news I saw on entertainment today was those three stooges were getting together to put together a new studio. I tell you what, if it's Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson, if they put out movies like Flight Risk, they, they won't have. They're gonna need to sell a lot more Teslas to finance that crap. Um, so, uh, speaking of fun, so we got some new reviews out. We got the Hill, which is actually a faith-based movie. So I reviewed that. That's out now. Um, and and I watched this one movie last night called Hydra. I It looked like it was a rough introduction for me, but there's this husband and wife couple, Brett and Tammy Bentman. Well, they're husband and wife team, and they make a lot of movies together. They make like over 70 movies. I saw the latest one they put out. I really was like, but I know they put out a lot of movies, and one of them was one I saw that was on Tubi that I'm going to watch probably after the show tonight. I'm excited for it because it has Jamie Bernadette in it. So I know right then and there that it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. It's gonna be at least fun. Jamie Bernadette is a terrific actress, and the movie's called Texas Tornado. So me, Paladin. That's so us. We so we like to watch the tornado movies on Tubi. Yeah, if you go to my Tubi playlist, um, Allison's probably coming on here to sit there and say, "No, don't talk about Texas tornado." But it looks fun though, Allison. It could be super hype. So please help me welcome in our guest for tonight, actress Allison Rothwell.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. I'm not sure if you heard the last of that.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Whew. So I was saying how last night I watched this movie um, called Hydra.
Okay.
and it came out, and I don't know. I don't know if you ever watched the old Sci-Fi Channel like 4 or 5 years ago.
No.
Okay, well, Sci-Fi Channel used to have all these different creature features come on,
Okay.
and they're always notice them because they're really low budget, and the special effects were not so special. But I mean, you look at the monsters, and you're going like, my wife, when she saw one movie I was watching, she said, she was sitting there laughing at it. She's laughing and says, "How much did they spend this? How much did they spend on this movie?" And I said, "Well, how much money do you have in your purse? You'll probably come close." Uh, so I watched this movie last night, and it wasn't all that. But what was intriguing was, it's a husband and wife team that produced it. She was in it. She starred in it, and he produced it. But I was looking at their IMDb page, and they've done over 70 movies,
Hmm.
and one of them is called Texas Tornado, and it's like a siren song to me and the Cheetah. We have to watch tornado movies. We just, I mean, they're so much fun.
I
Even
mean,
even though
I liked Twister with the cow going around.
right now these movies, you know how Twister costs like $150 million to make,
Yeah.
and all the great special effects, big movie stars. Yeah, Texas Tornado doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be someone. I think someone's going to be with a feather and some dust, and then swirling around like this and causes a little dust. That's probably what we're going to get. But I'm there for it because it has one of our favorite actresses, Jamie Bernadette. So we're going to give it a go.
Cool.
Um, do you like independent movies? I mean, do you like movies like that? Just movies you just know are so bad that they're fun to watch.
One of my favorite movies growing up was Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Did you ever see that?
I have heard of it. I own a copy of it, but I have not watched it yet. But I
It's
heard it was very fun.
it's so bad, but it is very fun.
Um,
But yeah, no, I like watching all movies, and if they're bad, I mean, I don't know, I still I still watch them. I feel like every movie has some value in it somewhere.
um, you haven't seen Hydra.
No, haven't seen that one.
No, I should keep picking on Hydra. Um, but I agree. I mean, I am one of those. But when I do reviews, though, I'll be honest with you. There's two ways of thinking about it. One, someone made a movie.
Yeah.
They put it, and there's some that like, no, just no. I mean, I know they made a movie, but no.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sort of like those that says no. I just like to see. I like to see effort. I like to see
Mhm.
spirit, and I like this. It's really what it is. It's like someone actually truly put effort into their film. I'm all right watching it, even if it isn't all that good.
Yeah.
I will appreciate the effort. Um, well, just think of yourself on your career, right? Here you
Hold
are.
hold
You're
on
you.
1 second for 2 seconds, Patrick. Bryce, you need to go to bed. No, I'm busy right now. No, good night. Those are my children.
I'm digging it. This is really cute, actually.
Quickly, quickly. Do you have a shirt on? Come give me a kiss, quickly. My
Do you have
6-year-old
pets?
my 6-year-old son, who's
Uh,
you don't have a shirt on, so don't come in front of the camera. Just kiss my cheek. I love you. Okay.
I love you.
Okay. Good night, boys.
mhm.
I told Bryce to
Okay.
come down here.
Please shut the door.
It was fun.
Oy vey.
No, I'm totally digging it.
Do you have
Totally
kids?
digging it. No kids. I have a cheetah.
That would probably be easier.
Oh, I don't know. Excuse me 1 second. Mm.
Okay, sorry. So what were you asking me before we were so rudely interrupted?
About well, when you're on set, right?
Yeah.
You've been on 11 sets or more.
Yep.
Now, sure, when you accept the role, or you're on the set, you're working, you're looking around. You want to make sure whatever you're in is quality. Like you really
Yes.
want it to be a good movie. You don't want it to
Mhm.
have something half-assed and maybe they could squeeze an extra shot here, but they want just not, don't worry about it. And then you start seeing some, you want your pictures to come out looking great, to come
Mhm.
out with that effort, that like, yeah, I'm proud of this. I could talk about this movie. Um, and I think every actor, every performer, that should have that attitude where it's like, I'm proud of this, and I'll
Yeah.
be happy to sit here and talk about it. I've had people who will sit there and it's like, yeah, I'm just no, I'm not going to talk about that movie or whatnot because they're not happy with it. They don't they they'll sit there and
Mhm.
they'll say it wasn't done professionally. And they didn't have enough money. It ran out of money. 75, and they'll say those sort of things. It's just like it's frustrating for me to watch an actor or an actress be put in that position where they're giving their effort, their best effort, but maybe they're being betrayed at the same time, by a producer or a director who
Yeah.
is dragging their feet. Um, that's I know that's very rare and it rarely happens, but it does happen. And I just think that when people say, "Well, at least they made a movie," I think it has to be just a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I certainly have projects that I am more proud of than others. Um, but I would never not give the credit to the people that put together maybe the movies that aren't my favorite, because as I've learned recently, producing a short film is very hard, and
mhm,
I'm assuming producing a feature is even harder.
yeah,
I just recently produced my first short and probably my last. um, Producing is not for me. I didn't know what I was gonna think about it, if I was gonna like it. I'm glad I tried it, but now I know it's not my thing. I'll stick to the acting.
sure, sure. Yeah, it's a different animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every before you're sitting on there as an actress, you're part of the machine,
Mhm.
whereas producing, you are the ignition. It's like that's a
Yes.
lot. It's a lot to depend. Everybody's depending on me for a lot of things. Um,
Yes.
but that's okay though. But like you said, at least you tried. I mean,
I tried, and
and
now I
and
know it's not for
now I
me.
know that I'm gonna be in front of the actress. I'm gonna be in front of the camera
Yeah.
as an actress, Allison Rothwell. Um, so let's go back to the beginning. How did you get your start in the business? I mean, tell us a little bit about your background.
So I've been doing theater since I was little, and I've always just loved acting. Took acting classes from the age of like I think 8 and 9 all the way up. When I went to college, I wanted to just I wanted to leave high school and go right to California and just become a famous movie star. But my dad was like, "Can you please just get a college degree? I don't care if you study theater, like that's fine. I just want you to have a bachelor's degree in something." So I was like, okay. So I agreed. So I got a degree in theater, did some plays in college, did a couple plays after college, and then eventually, met my husband and had kids. And then everything kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard to do anything when you have children, but for me to leave my husband 3 nights a week to like go to like play rehearsal with 2 little kids at home like just wasn't fair. So I kind of like gave up on the theater kind of aspect for a while. And when I was younger, I had done background work on a movie with Tommy Lee Jones when I was 11,
no, oh, really? Which
and
one
it
was
was
that?
Blown Away.
Oh, Jeff Bridges.
Yep. So,
Huh?
it was the first time I'd ever been on a professional set, and it was the last time I was on a set up until I was an adult. Because when you're a minor, your parent has to be on set with you, so my mom had to take a day off from work, and then I think it was my sister's birthday that day. We missed her birthday celebration. It was a 12-hour day. Um, but that was, like, super fun for me, and I was like, "I love this." So, once I realized that as a new mom, I wasn't gonna be able to do theater, I was like, "Let me get into, like, TV and film stuff in the area." And there's so much background work that happens in the Boston area, which is great, and I was consistently, like, I don't know, doing 1 or 2 movies a year just as background, and I was having fun, but it wasn't enough for me, so
Right.
3 years ago, I got involved with the 48-hour film project, and I worked on 2 for Boston and then 3 or 4 for Providence, and then I was like, well, this is fun and I want to do more. So then I just started auditioning for different short films, and then I made my own.
What's funny is that, and I like the idea you brought up the short film, and you could do those. Um, Man, short films. Anyway, everybody knows that watches this show knows that I am a tremendous proponent of short films. I love short films. I mean, hell yes. I think they're fundamentally to be every actor's background. You should do at least 2 or 3 shorts. One, just to see how the process works,
Yeah.
and then otherwise, and to hone your chops. To hone your
Mhm.
acting skills. Short films are the way to go, and you gain value too as a performer.
Mhm.
Every time you come up there, every time you go on a set and you add another short film, you add value because now you're giving energy, and you might be helping a director, create something new. They might be taking that first step,
Mhm.
to thanks to you and your professionalism and your skill. So, I mean, to me, any actors that do short films, yeah, I have tremendous respect for the process.
And the
Um,
thing is like I work like a regular job, in an office 4 days a week. And so it's not like I could commit to doing 3 months on a film set. Unless some big time director wants to give me a part, sure, I'm going to quit my
right.
job and I'm going to go and do that. But in the meantime, just to like keep my skills sharp and just to have fun, shorts are the way to go, because like even this past weekend I did the 48 Horror Festival for Providence. We filmed the
Oh, I,
whole
lo-
thing in
I
3 hours. We were done in 3 hours, and it came out pretty good, and I had so much fun, and it's just like one more thing that I have to add to my reel. Um, and it didn't really take any time out of, it was like a Saturday from like 11 to 2:15, and that's all, and then driving time because it was like an hour from me. But yeah, so those
I
are my
I love
2
the
favorite kind of
48 hour, the 48 hour, that's nuts. That's crazy fun. I've
It's
had
really
friends who've done it. I've interviewed people who've done it. They did it in Cleveland the first time I heard about it. That is absolutely insane. The acting part seemed to be like you got off with the easiest part, in a sense,
yes,
because you
yes,
get in there, do your lines, and you're done. It's
exactly.
everything's on the director, the editor, and the composer. It's like, okay,
Yep.
but did you manage to stay? Did you stay for a little while and watch them after you were done, after you
We
wrapped?
we
Were
were
you able to stick
done, like, we were all done with everything in the 3 hours, and then just one of the guys was doing the editing, so
around?
and I think he did it, like, the next day, but, it came out great considering that it was 3 hours to shoot, and it has to be, I think the rule of the contest is between 4 and 7 minutes. And last year, this particular team leader that was hosting me this year, his team last year was disqualified because they were like 1, 2 seconds over or something like that. So they were
Holy
disqualified and they
cow.
weren't even, I know. So
What the hell?
so it came, I think it was like 5 minutes. So it was like right in the right amount of time. And we shot it on an iPhone and it came out great. Like sometimes like the simpler the better.
Mhm, mhm.
Um with the short film that I just produced, because it was my first time doing it and I didn't really know any different, I just wanted really good quality people to hire. Um I had worked for free so many times and I have a lot of friends that have worked for free doing movies and stuff, and I knew I could find people to volunteer their time, but the script was like really good, and I just really wanted to do it the right way, especially where I was funding it. We did raise some of the money, but I funded the rest of it myself, and I just wanted like the best people. So I don't know if you know Hollywood Film Group out of Worcester, Mass, but they help people do exactly this, like from start to finish. They help people produce movies. So I hired
Nice.
them to help me because I didn't really know what I was doing. what I was doing. And they helped me through the process. And thank God for them because, John, the guy that runs the company, he warned me, as a producer, things are going to go wrong. Like, just be ready. And wouldn't you know, the night before shooting, two big things went wrong. We lost an actress and we lost our location the night before.
Oh,
Yeah.
what happened to the location?
Somebody, a friend of mine, backed out. We were supposed to film at her apartment and she got cold feet and she was worried about people being in her apartment, I guess. Fine. Wish she would have told me that way earlier than the night before. My director had flown in from California and the other actor acting opposite me came in from New York and we were not in the position to like reschedule. Like we had a crew of like 19 people. Like we were ready to go. So thank God for my dad because I called him up and I said, "Daddy, can we film in your house?" And we just had to make it work.
Did Pops get a chance to cameo in the movie?
He is not interested in doing that at all. He is very the opposite of me, very quiet and very shy. He hid upstairs for 2 full days. We filmed from like 1 p.m. to like 1 a.m. He like hid upstairs. I'm like, "Dad, just come downstairs and like see how
Say
it
hi.
works." Yeah, check out the camera, the equipment, and whatever. And he came down for a couple minutes at a time, but for the most part, he hid upstairs.
Oh my
But
God.
he was a good sport, and thank God for him because I don't know what we would have done, honestly,
Yeah.
otherwise.
Wow. As far as the actress backing out, that's I
That
like to
was
I like
like
to sit there and say that's what, but
Yeah,
honestly, I
well,
hear that
I think
I
what
hear that a lot.
happened with her is she was wonderful, and I think I don't know for sure because she actually spoke to the director and not me, but she had like a hard out. Like she wasn't starting until 4 p.m. and she said she needed to leave by 8 p.m. And we just knew that wasn't going to work, especially where we were filming with like the daylight and the nighttime and like whatever. We just weren't going to be able to get the scene done in 4 hours. And so the director kind of called me up the night before and was like, "Do I have permission to recast this role?" I was like, "For tomorrow? Sure. If you can find somebody that can learn the lines and will show up and do it, great, be my guest." So talk about stress.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah.
Hello, Cheryl. And she's saying hi to you as well.
Hello.
And saying hi to Anthony and Jerry. And Lady Valerie is here. Going to help me keep an eye on the scoreboard for me because you're a Boston girl, so you understand that I'm a Yankee boy. So we're just sort of keeping our eyes up north,
Yeah, yeah.
Are you a big baseball fan?
Nope.
Okay, you'd be a perfect Red Sox fan then.
I did actually the second time I was ever background in a movie was for Fever Pitch, the movie about the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And I made the trailer. I made the trailer.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Okay.
so that was very exciting.
Did you make the film too?
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. A Yankees fan might say something different, but yeah, he had to win sometime or another.
Yep. Yep.
Lady Valerie is a Brewers fan, and they haven't won yet. So,
Oh.
I'm torn because it's like the last thing I want is to. Well, you've gone to sports. You've gone to sporty events, so you hear people when they get passionate, like watching the Patriots or the Celtics or whatever. They get real passionate into it.
Yeah.
I used to be. I mean, I guess I still am for. Valerie saying she loves the movie Fever Pitch.
It's a good movie.
I think, yeah, I haven't. Oh, stop me if you heard this before. I haven't, but I haven't watched it yet. That I think didn't have Jimmy Fallon in it.
Yep, and Drew Barrymore.
Okay, well they're super cute together.
Yeah, so it was a great movie.
So when you got married, this sounds sort of weird, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but when you were acting, when you married when you and your husband talked, did he know that was the passion of yours, was you wanted to be an actress, you wanted to act? Did you tell him that when How did you guys approach that?
I mean, we met a little bit later in life. I mean, I was 31 when I met him. He's 7 years older, so he was 38. So we met like way after college age. And when we first started dating, I think I mentioned like, "Oh, I studied theater in college." And I actually, when we first started dating, I was doing a show, and that was like the last play that I did, the last live theater. And he came, we had like just started dating like 3 weeks earlier, and he came to the show and he sat with my dad in the audience.
Okay.
It was very cute. But then after that, it's like I really didn't do much of anything for a while except for background work every once in a while. So I think he knew that it was something I wanted to do, but it wasn't something that was taking much time out of my life because there wasn't a lot going on. But
Right.
over the last 2 years, I've done several
Done a
short
lot.
films, and he probably notices now more. I mean, the kids are a little bit older, they're 9 and
Right.
6, so they're a little bit more self-sufficient. I'm not leaving him with a kid in diapers. Um,
Right.
but
Right.
it's a long day, sometimes I'm gone for 12, 14 hours at a time, and he's just, dadding at home without me. And but he's very supportive. I mean, he's never told me not to do a job. And when
Well,
I
besides, imagine how cool it is for him to, the phone rings and he picks it up there and says, "Yeah, where's Allison? Oh, she's on a movie set."
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on, look at all the cool husband points he's getting from there. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, really? I mean, it's like, yeah,
I think my kids don't really think it's that cool. Um, even
they
though
never do. They never do until they get older.
yeah, because they're little, they don't really get it. But actually the movie we just made for the horror 48, they wanted to watch it, and I told them it was scary. And my 6-year-old was like, "I won't be scared. Let me see it." So we watched it. There was blood on my face in one scene. He looked horrified. Um, and then he was like asking me so many questions after that I couldn't even really
Uh
answer
oh.
because the movie was kind of open-ended and I didn't really know how to explain that to him. But
Hmm.
he was like taking a shower, and I was standing outside the shower waiting for him to finish up, and he's just spewing question after question after question about the movie, and I'm just like, "Bryce, I don't know. I really don't know." And then it's bedtime and he's like, "I'm going to have nightmares tonight."
Oh my gosh, but he's asking you all these questions.
But he was like kind of into it. And then my other short
Yeah.
that is premiering this weekend, he wants to watch, and there's some adult content that I'm not thrilled about showing him. And I
The
told him
language.
it's not even language, just like some innuendo. It's yeah, it's for
Yeah.
adults. Um, but when I mention it to him, like, "Oh, it's a little scary and there's like some grown-up stuff." He's like, "Well, you just let me watch this horror movie and I wasn't scared of that one." And I'm like, "Yeah, this one's a little different. No, I don't think you can watch it." So we're fighting about that right now because he really wants to see it. Um,
I
but
mean, short of anything graphic. I
right,
mean,
I mean, I can show certain scenes,
yeah. It
but
must
it's just
it
the
must be hard
questions.
now. I mean, I don't have TV, so I
Okay.
don't really see. I don't. I mean, like when I watched The Walking Dead
Yeah.
and I heard the language there, I'm going like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like this is AMC, it's a commercial cable, it's commercials and everything. But they're sitting there talking like sailors, and then
Yeah.
some of the TV shows, the TNT, I mean, now I think I don't know, does every TV show now, do they have explicit language in it now, or am I just that far out of the loop?
I think not on like Channel 5, Channel 7, but anything on cable, there's a lot of language. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay, so what was your first set? I mean, other than the Tommy Lee Jones movie. Um, what was your first? I mean, what when you decided to go back into it after your children had been grown a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the first? What was the first? And how did you get the job? I mean, you've been out of it for a while. So what was it like coming back after all those years and getting back into the pool? I mean, was it, was it strange? Had anything really changed since you last did any last on a set?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that had changed was, post COVID, auditions just happen with self tapes now. So that was a whole different experience. And I have done several auditions at home with my 9-year-old as my reader because he can read now. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's just easier rather than having my husband do it. I'm just like, hey, Grayson, can you like read script, whatever. But he's not as fluent with the lines as, somebody
Right.
who's, and sometimes there's big words. And so it doesn't always work. But yeah, the whole thing with self tapes is crazy because that's new and that's pretty much since COVID. And that's pretty much the only way I've auditioned since COVID. Um, the first short film I did, there were two that I did right around the same time. One was called American Foul Brood, and one was called The Devil and the Ghost. I think I did American Foul Brood first. And that one was really special because the director, even though I don't go there anymore, the director is a professor at the college that I went to. And she
What
works
college
in
did you go to? Boston University?
Bridgewater State College at
Bridgewater.
the time. Now it's Bridgewater State University. And yeah, she's a professor there. So that was like a really cool gig to get because number one, we filmed at her house in Bridgewater, which was near campus. But then maybe like 6 months ago, we went and had like a screening at like on campus in one of the buildings with one of her film classes, and they got to like ask questions and stuff, and it was just cool. I mean, I graduated 21 years ago. Is that right? 2004?
21 years.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, so that was fun. And then The Devil and the Ghost was fun because it filmed in New Hampshire. So I got to like be out of state and I had 2 days of shooting, and this is kind of like a fun fact, but where we were shooting was in this like Airbnb that they like rented. And the director was nice enough to tell me that I could sleep there also so that I didn't have to like drive back and forth from like
Right.
Norton, Massachusetts to New Hampshire because I had to shoot for 2 different days. So the first night that I got to this Airbnb, I was the only one there because they weren't filming till the next day.
Nice.
And I lasted 10 minutes. I swear it was haunted. Like I called
Well,
my husband. I called my husband and I'm like, "Do you care if I book a hotel instead?" And I ended up booking a hotel room. There was something about that house. I don't know. It was weird. And then when we filmed there the next day, everybody that was like on set agreed that it was kind of like something was going on.
Now, did you tell your son that you got scared out of the B&B?
I think I FaceTimed with them when I first got there. And then
Uh-huh.
I said, I'm not going to stay here tonight. I'm just going to go get a hotel room. And you know what? I mean, I don't do acting for the money. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times
Yeah.
I'm volunteering and I'm not, but this was
I
this
believe this though. I will say this in your defense, Allison. Okay, I mentioned this too many times. It's like you go to Facebook and you look at all the acting groups. I go there and I look at all that, and man, oh man, every time I see all these people they're asking everything for free.
yeah.
It's like, or they'll sit there and say, I don't have any money, but you can do it for a credit. And and it's like, to me, it's like, wow. So we don't have any money to pay your talent. So, it already tells you right there, as a producer and as a director,
Yeah.
you've already failed your project. You failed it because this is not a complete project. Because
Yeah.
one of the things that you do as a producer and as a director, you definitely do, is you learn how to budget. And that
Mhm.
means including your talent.
Yeah.
You got to factor that into your budget. Well, because you got enough money to buy the camera, you get enough money to buy, everything else you need for you got to take care of your people.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't pay them a lot of money, but you damn well could feed them.
Yeah.
And if they are driving, more than 25 miles away or whatnot,
Yeah.
you definitely can give them, some gas money, $25 gas money.
Yeah.
Help them get home. You can do that, and that's where you learn how to build into your budget. Because
Mhm.
I tell you what, there's nothing that gets me going. And I'm not an actor
Yeah.
but what really frosts me is the fact that you have talent. Like I said before, you have value.
Yeah.
When you come onto the set, who's on the call list? Allison Rothwell. Oh, I've seen her in 3 or 4 of her shorts. People know who you are. They know
Yeah.
your professionalism. You need to be compensated for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And I
see
mean,
so many. Go ahead.
there are tons of, we'll give you credit but no pay kind of jobs out there, and I have done a lot of those over the years. So I think when I did those 2 particular shorts that I was just talking about, those were both paid, and I was like thrilled because I'm like, oh, I get paid to do this. And then it kind of like, because you get paid for background work, but I
Yeah.
don't wanna be a background actor. Like, I wanna do so much more than that. So, I enjoyed doing background work, you know, over the years, just to, like, be on set and see how things are done, and you get to see the celebrities, and you get to kinda, but you're not doing it, number 1, for the money, for background work, and number 2, it's like, it's not it's not the acting I wanna be doing, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
anybody
Standing
can walk
there,
anybody can
standing
walk
there,
in the
sitting there.
background
Yeah.
down the street and whatever. Um, so to get paid for doing what I love is, like, amazing. So even if I get paid $100 and I'm there for 8 hours, I'm still happy for those $100, just because it's
Yeah.
like I'm getting paid for something I love to do. And I'll have to say, so my older son did a short film over the summer for a film student, and it was unpaid. And this kid was so impressed with my son, he decided to pay him. Like, we showed up and he gave me like $75 for my son, and he gave me gas money because he was so appreciative that, like, I drove, and then my husband had to drive too because our younger son was background in one of the scenes, but I didn't want him to be there on set all day. So I went with my older son, and then my husband had to drive at like 3 o'clock. So we both drove. So he was like, I'm just so appreciative that you guys both drove, and I'm giving you gas money and I'm paying the kids. And even Bryce, who was just background, made $20. And he was like, this is so cool. Like, what can I buy?
I definitely think this director needs a shout out. So shout him out, Allison. Who is
Yeah,
this?
his name is Leo. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his last name. Hold on, I'm gonna get it for you right now because he was amazing, and he goes to URI. And I haven't seen the film yet. Oh, I can't even pronounce his last name. Bovenschult?
What was the film that you did? Is it on your IMDb?
Nope, it's not out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but it literally it stars my son and another young man who's like in his 20s, and my son is playing like the younger version of the older character. And it was the first time that my son had lines, and I was so nervous because I'm like, I don't know if he can do it. And like, he asked me, he's like, Mom, can you hold up cue cards like behind the camera with my lines? And I was like,
So cute.
I can't do that. But Leo was like, you know what, I know he's a kid, and he's like, we'll work with him, we'll make it work. And then my son like blew everybody away, did not forget one line, like knew them all.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool as hell. I
yeah,
love that story so much.
yeah.
I really do. I think that's one of the best
I
ones
was
I've
really
heard.
proud of him.
Yeah. How fun is that?
Yeah.
I think you have actors in your family.
Yeah.
The more they do it, the more they do it.
Unfortunately for my husband, no one's following in the baseball footsteps that he had.
Well, you can just tell them that you talked to a Yankees fan today. I mean, you can
Right.
tell them that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, both my boys, they take hip hop. They're both good dancers. They both love to sing, and they both love acting. My little one's done some modeling. So I definitely think they're following in my footsteps, which I love.
So well, let's get back to you though, because
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. Though I love that your kids are carrying on the again
Yeah.
the skill set. You just don't pick that up. I think really do. I really think that people who have do art like this,
Mhm.
and then they have a family. I think their child picks up on that really
Yeah.
young. I think they develop those skills and those likes because they see it, they
Yeah.
experience it. Having Uh, Yankees are down 2-1 going into the second inning. Well,
Uh-oh.
at least we're in the game still. We're not losing like 20. We're not losing 20-1. Um, so but I think it's cool. I think that it's cool that your kids are into it as well.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling you're going to be a rare person here. I ask. I have a feeling that you're someone who likes to audition. Am I right?
Do I like to audition? Some days are better than others. Some days it's hard as a mom who's working outside of the home to fit in doing a self-tape, right? And those days, sometimes I'm frustrated and I sometimes rush a little bit because I'm tired and I just want to go to bed after working in an office all day. Coming home and trying to get a self-tape in, it's hard. But weekends are a little bit more open and less stressful for me. So I don't mind them as
How,
much on the weekend, but I
how,
don't
how do you how do you
love it.
find the how do you find the jobs that you want to parts that you want to play? How do you find them? Do you find them through IMDb? Do you find them through Freeway? How
No,
do you just look and look, or have you signed up for the agency and they send
um
you leads?
no, I have casting networks, Backstage. I get both of those jobs emailed to me daily, and Actors Access. So those are the three that I use the most. And then plus Facebook, there's a lot of stuff that pops up on Facebook, which is great. Unfortunately, a lot of it is non-union, and I am SAG now, so I can't do the non-union stuff. So that's kind of a bummer. Um, I kind of hoped that once I joined SAG, like all these auditions would like fall in my lap for like speaking parts, and that's not the case.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Have you auditioned? I mean, I know that I know they have a lot of work around Boston where they have Blue Bloods or something like that,
Yeah, I
or the
haven't seen any auditions or anything for that. I did have an audition for the Walking Dead spinoff, so that was cool. Um I've auditioned for just I don't know, so many different things over the years that I can't even keep track. I mean, I would say for like every 10 I submit for, I might hear from one.
Mhm.
So it's a tough crowd. It's a tough industry.
So how do you stay motivated? How do you stay focused? When that happens, because you're right, it's a rough, and especially the fact that they don't ever call you or let you know, like, thank you for your time. No
Yeah.
one ever does that. You just if you haven't heard from somebody like for 3 weeks, you feel like, okay, well, they just forgot about me. That I didn't get the
Yeah.
part. I just feel that it would be nice for them to sit there and say, thank you for your time, and then move on. Um,
That would be nice, but I honestly think that they don't have the time to do that.
yeah.
When they have so many people. Like I know for American Foul Brood, for the role that I played in that, Christina, the director, she told me that maybe I'm making this up, but I swear she said 400 people submitted for the role. And I don't know how many actually she asked to do self-tapes, but so many people submit, and a lot of times from what I've heard, I'm not usually on the casting end of things. The only time I've really ever done that was my recent movie because we were casting for the one role. Um Otherwise it's always the other way around. I'm always auditioning. But most of the people that submitted, when I would ask for a self-tape, one or maybe two did it. And out of like I gave like 10 or 12 people the opportunity, and they just disappear. They just fall off the face of the earth. I don't know. And
Do
that's
you
what
think
I've
it's just
heard.
do you think that's just their way of, because I know the majority of actors do not, they don't mind auditioning. What they really don't like is they don't like the auditioning self-tape. I mean, some say yes, it's okay, but I think majority of them, they want to be seen.
Yeah.
They want you to see my face, see who I am, watch me work. I think they want that. Doing a self tape, you're sitting there watching somebody by themselves, and it's like there's no personality there. I mean, someone could
Yeah.
look at that for 10 seconds and move on. It's not so
Right.
easy like that when you're facing somebody face to face. You'll take a lot more care. I mean,
Yes.
you're right.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't do it though, they don't. I mean, it's a simple request. Send me an audition tape. Send me an audition tape. I mean, it's a request. It's
Yeah.
also a test. It's like, if you're not willing to give me a tape and I
Yeah.
ask for that, what else you won't do if I
Right.
ask?
Right.
So I can understand why, I like that, I would have liked to cast that person, but I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna play it with someone who understands what we're going through here.
Yeah. And of
Um,
like the two people that I there were like 12 people I requested tapes from. Like I said, there were two maybe that did the tapes. I made sure to email them back and really to thank them for submitting, because although they weren't chosen for the part, they took the time to do it. You know what I mean? And I've just heard from so many people that that's the case with casting. They'll put out a notice and they'll get all these people to submit, and then they'll ask for like self tapes from half of them, and then like a quarter actually submit the tapes.
mm. Now, I noticed that when I was looking at what I could look at on your IMDb, I noticed that there are some really fun short films that you've done, but you also did a feature film where you had a part in it, and that was Chosen Family. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. How now you have I guess you were a yogi. You played the part of a yogi teacher.
Yeah, a yoga student. So have you seen the
Okay.
movie?
No, I went to look for it, but it's only on Prime right now.
Yeah.
But I
So
will
on
watch it. I will watch it when it drops down to Awesome or Tubi. I definitely will
yeah,
watch it.
it was a really good movie. So actually with that one, Heather Graham was starring in it, and I think she produced too. And really, I was just background. I was playing, a yoga student in several different, yoga scenes or whatever. But she gave us all credits, which never happens. Like, you
Wow.
don't get credited. Like, you're not even supposed to put background on your resume. Like,
Right.
I've probably worked on 20 films over the years that I was background in, and some of them you could see me and some of them you couldn't, but none of those can be on my resume or on my IMDb page.
Well, can't you put uncredited on there?
Yes, you can, but I've heard from different people in the industry that that doesn't look good.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would like to at least get at least one line.
Yes, believe me, if anyone wants to give me a line in anything, I will take it.
So, what was it like to work on the set? I mean, that was there has some stars on there. Heather Graham's that's an A-lister right there. So, what was
Yeah,
it like working on that set?
that was fun. The day that I worked, Julia Stiles unfortunately was not on set, but the day that I was there, I was with Heather Graham most of the day, and she was very sweet. And it was, I get a little starstruck. Um, but I
I
always, but
was
I
going to
always,
ask you about that.
but I always play it cool. So I was on Good Burger 2 with a girl that I knew. I wouldn't say a friend, but a girl that I knew. And she whipped out her phone and took out a picture of Keenan or Kel or whatever, like on set. And like immediately the director, whoever, swooped in and was like, put that phone away or you're out of here. Like, I don't know why she even would risk taking a picture like on set. Like, you're told at the beginning, like, you don't speak to the actors unless they speak to you first. Like, they're working, they need to concentrate. um and I always abide by that. Like, I was next to Brendan Fraser for 45 minutes. um it was, I don't even remember, Furry Vengeance, I think was the name of the movie. And
I remember
I
that one.
literally did not say a word to him, and he was like right there because I just didn't want to break the rules. And then he turned to me and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey." So then it's like he addressed me first. I can talk to him. The only time that I broke that rule was when I was on Blown Away, because I was 11 and I wanted a picture with Tommy Lee Jones, and I was a kid, so I didn't care. Like,
Right.
so
Did he take a picture with you?
he did, and he gave me an autograph.
Wow. How fun
But I
is
mean,
that?
that's a no-no. Like, you do not do that on a set. Like, that's you don't do that. I got away with it because I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
I think kids get a little bit more leeway for that sort of thing, you know?
yes. Yeah.
You know, I think they get yeah, like someone like you and I, you know, yeah. Mm,
But
yeah,
honestly, I was 11, so I didn't even really know who he was. I think my mom was probably like, "Go ask him to take a picture with you." And she, like, pulled out an actual camera from her purse, because it was, like, 1993, there were no, like, cell phones.
right, right.
And then I remember I went up to him and I, like, poked him, like, on the back, like, to get his attention, and he turned around, and well, he didn't hear me, he didn't see me at first or feel me or whatever, and so I said, "Excuse me?" And he finally
Oh,
turned around and he's like, "What'd you call me?" And I said, "No, I said, excuse me." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you called me Sydney." And I was like, "No, can I just get a picture with you?" And he was like, "Sure." And the picture's so funny because he's like very gruff looking.
yeah.
And I'm like a little child, like a little girl. And then my mom pulls out from her purse. I don't know if you remember this or know about this, but Shaw's used to have an Entenmann's cookie club where kids could get a free cookie every time you went grocery shopping with your parents.
Nice.
And that's all she had in her purse for him to autograph. So she, like, pulled it out. I think they used to, like, check off, like, every time you got a free cookie, or I don't know. So that's what he signed, my, like, Entenmann's Cookie Club card thing. But I have it still.
Well, you know what? I bet you it just shows them that you weren't planning this. It wasn't premeditated. This is spur of the
Definitely
moment.
not premeditated. Yeah.
Um, you know what's funny is like I worked with a few actors and whatnot before. You know, I've also had to deal with a few handlers as well,
Yeah.
which are always fun. I always enjoyed that. Nothing more fun than to go to a manager and go nose to nose.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you know, it's funny how they say that, you know, don't talk to the actors, don't, you know, don't, and they make them all to be seem like, you know, the handlers always seem to be like capital one assholes. But the fact of the matter is like if you know, if they could, they would talk to everybody. But
Yeah.
the fact is, they're like, yeah, it's hard. I mean, because we're gonna ask it, we're gonna get into your process. We're gonna see how does Allison get ready for a role, and then and I mean, well, even looking at this, even looking at tonight, here you are getting ready for an interview, and you got to deal with some kids. Love it, love it, but that's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to be ready for all things all the time.
Yeah.
I sometimes I think that they're a little heavy-handed with it, though, right? You know, like, you know, don't talk to them unless they talk to you. A lot of times, those people are sitting there looking at you, and they're waiting for, you know, they see you just standing there, and they're like, "Wow, this person's not talking to me. What did I do wrong?"
Right.
It's a natural human emotion. You
Yeah.
know, why aren't they? You know, you're standing there next to Brendan Fraser. Honestly, if I was there for 45 minutes and he stood and said hi to me, I would have thought I messed up somewhere.
Yeah.
I would have
I'm
thought I
just
would have
like,
made him.
I'm such a rule follower. Like, I'm the firstborn and oldest daughter. I'm just a rule follower. Like, that's just me. I'm so scared of getting in trouble that, like, it's just like ingrained in my brain. So I just like leave everybody alone. If they talk to me, I will obviously talk to them back, and I would love to chat with anybody, but like I'm not going to like start the conversation because I don't want to get in trouble. And I have seen people get kicked out, not kicked off set, but I've seen on the set of Fever Pitch, I did see someone who got their cell phone taken away because they were taking pictures of Jimmy and Drew.
Well, see, I know that's this. Yeah, that's probably the one thing that I would have to admit that I would be if they came over and hooked that person out of their off the set. I would actually go along with that one
Yeah.
because a lot of times they get those pictures and they try to sell them.
Yeah.
And it's like when baseball players, um, it's like baseball players. I've seen them. I'll go to a game and all these kids run up there and they're asking for autographs.
Yeah.
And so and they say, "Who do you want to make it out to?" And they say, "No, just your name." And now baseball players, they make it a point to sign their names. Like, what's your name? Like, I won't sign unless you give them a name. Like,
That's
what's your name?
interesting, right? Because they don't
Yeah.
want people selling it. I get it. I
No,
mean,
no, no. They want it's like and I saw Jim Thome do that at Tiger Stadium. 20 kids, three deep, asking autographs, and he would just one by one, he would just sit there and say, "What's your name? Who am I signing it to?" And the ones that didn't get an autograph. The one who said it, are fans. Glad to do
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never really thought about that before. And I'm a huge boy band fan, and I met Joey Fatone from NSYNC last year, and he asked for my name, and it says to
Yeah.
Allison Joey Fatone on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would want. I wouldn't want just a name. I want it to be signed to me,
Right.
because it shows, so, but
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about this because we're talking about process,
Yeah.
so what is your process, Allison? Like when you get ready for a role, do you have a set routine you do? Like, let's say tomorrow you're shooting. Do you have a routine that you do to get ready for the shoot? So walk us through a day of Allison on set.
I mean, again, I don't have a ton of time, a ton of extra time in life with 2 kids, 3 pets, 3 jobs. So besides my office job, I also have a side hustle where I help people declutter and get organized. So, and then I do the acting. So, I'm always busy. There's always something going on. Learning lines is my absolute least favorite part of everything. I hate it. I don't know if it's just because I'm old now and I can't remember things as well. But I just can't remember as well as I used to. So that part sucks. Once I have the lines down though, I do try to kind of just make notes to myself about the character and how I think she would think about whatever. And I just really try to put myself into the shoes of the person that I'm playing. I don't honestly have a ton of prep time usually because I'm running from one thing to another. I'm a mom and then I'm like, okay, bye guys. I'm going to, go film something or whatever. And there's a lot of practicing lines in the car and a lot of like trying to get into that mindset of, okay, I'm playing this character today and I'm not a mom today. The short film that is coming out this weekend, that whole thing came out because my friend is a writer and he basically one day was like, "What kind of a part do you want to play next?" And I was like, "Something creepy, something stalkerish, something very different than what I normally play." So he wrote me a short film and that's why I ended up producing it because he literally gave me the film and was like the script and was like, "Here, make a movie." And I was like, "I don't know how to do this." And I just had to figure it out or else it wasn't going to get made. So that's how the whole producing thing kind of happened. Um and the role is definitely different than anything else I've played. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, what's been the hardest role that you've had to prepare for? The one that just gave you the just like holy crow, and how did you overcome it to nail it?
I mean, probably this one was the hardest because it's so far out of my comfort zone. I don't want to give too much away because it hasn't premiered yet and everything, but it's just so different than who I am as a person. And like a lot of the times, I feel like I do get cast as like a mom, like
Yeah.
because I'm a mom. Um, and so sometimes, like I made a joke like a couple weeks ago, I was working on background on an Apple TV movie, and I got hired to play a middle school parent. I'm like, this is a really big stretch for me. Like, I'm a mom at a basketball game, right? Like, just that's I usually get like roles like that, or like I played a neighbor in one of them, like a nosy neighbor, and I'm like, I just want something very different and creepy, something totally different. So this role for this movie, it's called Old Friends, was the hardest role that I've had. because the character is just so unlike me in every way.
How do you stand out as a? I mean, because once in a while you hear somebody who wins a line or two. If do you ever try to do that when you and like when you put out your wardrobe? Do they give you a wardrobe, or are you allowed to bring something from your house that like for a basketball scene you wear something that you would like a sweater or something like that.
You
Um,
mean for like background work?
Right. I mean, how can you make yourself stand up to where a director will sit there and say, you know what? Let's have the mom come up there and ask for a coffee or something,
Well, that has
or
not happened yet. I hope it does
yeah,
someday.
yeah.
Every single time I'm on set doing background work, I'm like, it would be so cool to get bumped and just get one line. Um, it has not
Have you
happened
seen
yet.
that?
It did
Have you seen
happen
that
to
happen? Have you
it
seen that
happened
happen
to my
for
friend. It happened to my friend. It does happen. I think it's rare, but it definitely can happen. Um, but I'm hopeful that someday it happens. But either way, I'm just happy to be on set because it's what I love doing. Like, even if
right,
I'm just playing the mom at the game and cheering on my kid or whatever, I'm on set, I'm watching professional people making a movie or making a TV show. And for me, it's just fun to like be right where the action is. And yes, I would love a line or two,
yeah,
but I do it anyways because it's just so fun to be on set. And it's really my true passion is just
right.
acting and, movies and TV shows and, you know,
Well, I definitely
celebrities.
think I definitely feel like there's an actor based in Ohio named Timothy Cox, and I call him the king of shorts. That's what he does. He
Really?
does. Oh yes, he does. He's done hundreds of them.
Oh, wow.
He's an elevator. Every time you see every time Timothy's in a short, you just know that you're getting an A-lister on a short film.
Yeah.
He's very skilled,
Yeah.
very skilled. And I think shorts, I think that's a great way to, you know, look for the parts that have look for try to get as many lines as you can there too.
Yeah.
How does one overcome that line? It's hard to memorize the line. Do you use cheat sheets, or is that dangerous in the fact that you don't have it during when you're being filmed?
Yeah, no. I just for this past movie before we shot, my friend who lives like around the corner from me, I did a short film for her a year ago. I played a mom. It's called Mom Dating.
No. Okay.
It's called Mom Dating. It's about making friends as a mom and how it's similar to dating. It was actually very cute. Um, but yeah, so my friend wrote that script and she lives around the corner. So she was like very appreciative that I did mom dating for her. That was a total volunteer situation. It was just the first time she ever like wrote a script and did anything. And she's like, I'd love for you to, be in it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I don't know, she felt like she owed me for doing that for her. So she came and she helped me learn my lines for this short. And I went to her house, she came over here, like we took turns and she really helped me. My husband in the past has helped a little bit, but he does not enjoy it. And I think
Well, he does not enjoy running lines.
no, and my dad, it was always my dad when I was younger and living at home. He was always running lines with me. Um, that's why I love that my older son can read now because
Mhm.
he will run lines with me. And even if he's not saying the stuff perfectly or whatever, it's getting the gist across so that I'm like remembering it. Um,
Right.
Sometimes I just like take a notebook and I just like write out the lines like repeatedly to try to get them to
Okay.
stick.
Okay.
Um, there's like an app called Line Learner where you can like record the line ahead of you so that you can like press play and then like that line plays as like a cue line so then you can practice your line. I've used that before,
Oh, okay.
which is
Okay.
cool, but it's hard. I mean, I'm jealous people that like can learn lines like super easily. Like I'm like, how do you do it? Because
How about the ones that not only learn their lines, but they'll learn everybody's lines?
right. I feel like when I was younger, like in plays and stuff, I feel like I kind of remembered everybody's lines. And now my brain is mush. Like they say mom brain is a thing. Well, since I've had my kids, I can't remember anything.
Uh, so what do you feel about social media in your job? I mean, as far as acting goes, we touched on it briefly earlier about finding jobs on Facebook or IMDb groups or the access. What do you feel about social media in terms of acting? Is it a bane or is it a boon? I mean,
I am a little addicted to social media. I'm not afraid to admit that. I definitely scroll and waste a ton of time on there. So I'm not a great person to ask because I love social media.
but do
um,
you think it helps you, like, 'cause to me it's like, like if you're talking with group, have you ever found a job because someone said, "Hey, oh, by the way, Allison, I saw this thing on such and such, and I thought about you, and here it is. Like you can go and check that out." Have you ever gotten a job that way through somebody's
I've
recommendation?
had people tag me like on Facebook groups if there's something that I would be appropriate for. And actually one of the jobs that my son had over the summer, an actress who I'd worked with before saw that someone was looking for kids and she had posted, "This is not my job and I don't know anything about it, but I'm posting it here if anyone has a kid that's interested." And so yeah, so I mean I've definitely gotten myself jobs through Facebook and I've gotten my kid jobs, which is cool. But the weird thing about social media, which is crazy to me, is so this movie that I'm producing that's coming out this weekend has a name talent acting opposite me. You
Oh,
might not
really?
know you might not know who he is because he's in a boy band. um
Okay. Drop the name.
it's Trevor from the band O Town.
Okay, I've
So
heard of it now.
O Town was that show. They came from the show Making the Band, which
Right,
Lou Pearlman like had a TV show auditioning young guys to make a boy band. It was like after NSYNC and Backstreet Boys came out, and then the guys that like made O Town, like they came from that show, and they still perform. So, and I'm a fan, and I had met him at a VIP event, and then my friend had given me the script and I was just going to audition like a local actors and find someone to act opposite me. And then I was listening to a podcast where Trevor was being interviewed and he mentioned that when he got picked for Making the Band, he had been in college studying theater and he dropped out to do Making the Band.
right.
And he had said he wanted to do more acting. So I was like, I have a script and I need someone to act opposite me. So I just sent him a DM on Instagram, never in a million years thinking he'd even answer me. And he made a movie with me.
Wow, that's you know what if nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Exactly. And that's what I've been telling people. I had a friend who like really made fun of me like when I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to DM him and ask him to be in my movie." She's like, "You're crazy. Don't do that." And I'm like, "Listen, the answer's always no if you don't ask."
It is.
And I really
Uh,
didn't think he was gonna say yes, but he did. It took 3 months for him to, like, commit, and I think I don't know, maybe he just needed to make sure that I wasn't totally,
yeah.
like, a crazy fan.
I'm sure he had his people vet you out. I mean,
Yes.
it's one of the things that I do when I posted, because you're part of the 100. I posted a who wants to talk with me. I
Yeah,
put that in the women's, and I got 100 responses to that.
yeah,
I was always expecting. I always whenever did that before, I got like 3 or 4,
yeah.
and then this time it was just overwhelming.
Wow.
I had so many people, and it was just like, wow, how do I pick and choose? There's so
Yeah,
many. I only have so many dates. But all I did was just go with. I just went with my instinct. I was like,
yeah,
okay, I
yeah,
looked at, and I said that too. I said, you can vet me out.
yeah.
Luckily, there's a couple of people in there that did because they had already been interviewed on the show,
Oh,
and they were in the group. I went, oh my, oh, she's in the group. Oh, thank
oh,
God,
that's
because
funny.
oh yeah, I had a great time with Patrick. I was like, thank you. Because you know,
Um,
because that is the other side of acting on social media is that there are a ton of scammers, aren't there?
yes, yeah, there definitely, and in the movie, our movie is about a stalker, right? So, and I had made a joke to him like on the set, like I was like, "Hey, remember that time I DM'd you and asked you to be in my movie?" And he was like, "Yeah, I remember." And I was like, "Why did it take you so long to like say yes to me?" Because it really did take like 3 months. Like I asked him in
Yeah,
like October, November, and he didn't
yeah,
commit
those.
until like February. And he's like, "'Cause I had to make sure you were like somewhat normal." You
Yeah,
know? And
yeah,
I get it. I mean, when you're a public figure in any way, shape, or form, you have to be careful about that kind of stuff. But the thing
hmm
that's been cool about social media is because he's in the movie and I've been on different posts, like tagged with him on social media. He has a following. His fans have recognized me in person as me.
nice.
And I'm like, I'm now getting recognized because I'm doing this movie with Trevor, which is like so cool. Like I've had random people stop me at a couple different events. I mean, they've been mostly O-Town shows, right? Like,
Right, sure.
but they're like, "Oh my God, Allison!" Like, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, yeah." And they're like, "I recognize you," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So social media is very cool.
Yeah, it can be, especially to get them following you and
Yeah,
seeing what you're doing next. That's just it's all positive.
yeah.
Um, do you like doing press? It's just, I mean, obviously you've done press before, right? I mean, you've done interviews before. How important or you have, right?
So for acting stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
I did one interview with Trevor. We were on together for another YouTube show. But I haven't really done a ton of press for acting stuff. I get interviewed a lot for decluttering. That's
Oh,
like
okay.
my
Oh,
side
yeah, you
hustle.
said that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, that's an interesting side job you get. How did you get started doing that? Was that through your acting that you came across, and was
No,
that something you were doing beforehand?
it was really during COVID when everything shut down. So I work for an accounting firm. That's like my real job. And I was stuck at home, daycare closed, my kids were 3 and 1, and I was trying to work from home with, like, 2 babies, and I just felt like I had so much stuff and everything was overwhelming me because, like, we couldn't leave our houses, right? There was nothing else to do, nowhere to go, and so I literally started Googling, like, decluttering podcasts and decluttering books, and then I found, like, a couple different people that I was interested in their methods, and then there was this one particular woman who's a YouTuber. I really liked her method, and so I started kinda using it at home. Then when we went back to work, like, my office, my accounting firm, we opened back up in July of 2020, and one day I organized the whole supply closet and I was like, "This is so fun." I was like, "I really like this." And then I mentioned to my husband one night, like, "Maybe I could do this for other people." And he was like, "Good, because we don't have anything else at this house for you to declutter." And I'm like, "That's not true. I can find more." I can always find more. So I posted in like the local moms page on Facebook, like, "Hey, I'm looking to like help people declutter and get organized. $25 an hour. Let me take before and after pictures." And then it kind of just grew from there. The woman that I whose method I teach, her name is Dana K. White. She's a YouTuber and an author. I was following her method and I randomly sent her an email in like, I don't know, January of 2022. And I was just like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your work. I do decluttering for local moms and I teach your method. Are you ever going to have like a certification process?" And she emailed me back and she was like, "There's one in the works." And so when it came out in like November of that year, her assistant emailed me and was like, "Dana wants to interview you on Zoom so you can like talk to her and tell her how you implement her method with clients." And I was like,
Right.
"Okay, cool." So I did that. And then she uses that Zoom as part of the training for new coaches, which is cool.
Yeah.
Um, and I was her very first coach certified. And I can only do it very part-time because like I work at the accounting firm and then I'm a mom and whatever. So I try to book jobs on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I do virtual coaching as well, and I love it. It's just so fun. And I post like I have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook pages for the decluttering business, and I try to post a lot on there which kind of
Okay.
gives me my I scratch the itch a little bit with the acting stuff when I don't have a project. I just film myself talking about decluttering, and then at least I'm doing something on camera, right?
It's funny. So there's two people in here in this chat. Well, there's our friend Cheryl for sure.
Yep.
She's what they call van lifer,
Okay.
and that's what people who are basically live in their vans.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you want to interview somebody that would be someone to talk to, because you should see some of these van lifers as far as cleaning their living space. They are they're so impressive.
Well, their
It's
living
so
spaces are very small, so it's like they
yeah.
don't have much room to
But
work
you'd be
with. You have
surprised.
to.
Oh, but you'd be surprised how completely disastrous some of these things are. I've seen some that are just like, how do you live that? How do you? And there are some like with Cheryl, their places are immaculate. There's this one guy named Tim Tim. That guy is the MacGyver of van lifers. You could bring up a van, just a regular mom van, drop it on
Yeah.
your drop it. He would have that tricked out, fixed up, and decluttered by the time you came back. By the time you came back Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, wow, good. I get to brag off here. In comes our good friend Tremaine. His Tremaine Tejo. He is a filmmaker based in California.
Cool.
And he had just walked in and he said hello to me. I'm sure he's saying hello to you.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a tremendous filmmaker, and he would probably feel he could probably connect on producing part. He
Yeah.
is also yeah, he's a producer, a director, screenwriter, and yeah, how cool is that? Hopefully you're doing well, Tremaine. And he makes documentaries.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of my very favorites. Welcome to Cat Town.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Yep, and he said hello to you, and he sent out the clapper. See, that's filmmaker talk. See, I got two filmmakers here. Are you gonna after? I know you mentioned, I know you mentioned that you're not gonna do producing again, but would you give it a shot at directing? Because directing is not the same as producing. Would you consider directing?
Yeah, so in college, as part of my my major, we had to take a directing class. It was like it was a requirement, and I did enjoy it. Um I didn't like it as much as acting, but I definitely enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And when I was getting ready to, get this movie going that I'm doing, someone asked me, "Well, you're acting in it, but you're producing it. Do you also want to direct?" And I'm like, "Hell no." I was like, I'm already so overwhelmed with acting and producing and everything. There's no way I could direct it as well, but I would
Yeah,
definitely be open to directing at some point. Um, and you mentioned documentaries. So I do kind of, not that I want to produce anything again, but if I could like team up with somebody who has an interest in this, I would love to do a documentary about the BRCA gene mutation, which is something that I have. It means I'm high risk for breast and ovarian cancer. And my risk of breast cancer was like 85%, which is not good. So I chose to have a preventative double mastectomy to lower my risk. And I really try to spread the word to people about, I did not have breast cancer, luckily. So people that have these preventative surgeries, I don't know if you've ever heard the term, but we are
yeah.
previvors. So we're not survivors because we didn't have cancer, but we're previvors. And I'm very interested in maybe creating some kind of a documentary about my experience with that and all of the women that I've talked to throughout this whole experience that I've had. I found out that I was positive when I was 28 and I'm 43 now. So I've met so many people like over the years that I've connected with over this. So I would love to make some kind of a documentary about it. But
And ovarian cancer as well. You're at risk.
yeah, so yep, I had all my other parts taken out as well.
Mm.
I got nothing left. My grandmother died of ovarian cancer when she was 52, and I was 6 years old, and I barely remember her, and it just sucks. And then my mom had breast cancer when she was 46, and luckily she survived and she's still with us. But the risks were just too high. I just
Yeah,
didn't want to. I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to be around for my kids for a long time. So
definitely, definitely. So your new film's coming out now?
yeah,
I know you have to promote it, so
yeah.
we'll give you 3 months to promote. What else do you have coming down the line? What's next for Allison?
You know what? I don't have anything else lined up right now, and I want all of the stuff to come my way. I want all of the parts. I want to act in everything. So like I said, I worked on the 48-hour horror film festival last weekend. So I've seen that myself and my children. I've showed it to. But the world won't be able to see it until October 23rd when we have the actual festival. So I'm excited for that because I think it came out well. And then my movie's premiering this weekend, and then I'm going to try to do the whole festival thing, which I've never entered into a festival on my own. Like some of the movies that I've been in have gone to festivals, but as for like doing it myself, I like have a lot to learn, and I'm hoping that people will help me get there because I want it to go to different festivals, and I just want to get it out there.
The only advice I have for that is when it comes down for them to buy ad space on the magazine that every festival does, try to spend a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's how you win. You win.
Yeah.
You win. Just be honest. Just
Yeah.
being honest. Exactly what I heard is like the more you spend on the magazine, the chances of you winning are much higher. It's like that
Good to
sort of
know.
sucks.
Good to know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit our button. I cannot thank you enough, Allison, for coming out here and hanging out with us. And I had a lot of fun.
This
I
was
hope
fun.
you
Yeah.
had fun. Yeah, good, because hopefully you'll spread the word and tell everybody that we had a lot of laughs, and
Yeah.
I learned a lot today. I appreciate you sharing your experience with us, and I look forward to as soon as your movie comes out. I'd love to look at it. I won't review it until after your festival run is over.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Which kills me. Which
I
kills
know.
me. A festival will sit there and say, "Well, yeah, well, you're going to come out here in 6 months, but now you can't basically promote your movie, but word of
Yeah.
mouth through that. You can't review it. You can't, because I think that's so backwards myself. I think
Yeah.
anything needs to get as much publicity as it can, and especially in this crowded entertainment landscape.
Yeah.
Um, I want to thank I want to thank our chat for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate that. Tomorrow night we have Miss Deborah. I want to make sure I get her name right. Deborah Markowitz will be here tomorrow, and she runs a film company. She runs a film company, and she co-runs it with I believe her husband John. I believe that's her husband.
Mm.
I'll probably get chewed out if it's not. But they have done a ton of films, and they will be here tomorrow. In fact, I'm watching a pilot of one right now. Brimstone. I'm supposed to be getting that tonight. So I'm looking forward to watching that. That's her new movie we'll be talking about tomorrow night. And that'll be tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And then on Thursday, we have a double header. We have Catherine. Speaking of festivals, we have Catherine Shannon. She's a film festival judge based in the UK. She's an actress and she's also a film festival judge. So we'll be talking to her on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then we'll be coming back that tonight on a regular time at 8 o'clock. And we'll be talking with filmmaker Chase Stein and Bruce Bales. And we're going to be talking all things Iowa film. Love Iowa. And the last thing I'll say before we let you go is Saturday night. This Saturday night, you can come join us. We do a watch party at 9 p.m. And we'll be watching the movie Christie. That's right, the horror film. And I don't think your boy should watch this one.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not.
This one's scary. But we're watching Christie on Saturday night at 9 p.m. So thank you for all coming out, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Stay right you're at, Allison, and now I'm going to say goodnight to everybody else. Peace.
Yeah.
Your voice went to bed, too. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they go to bed.